Hi there, and welcome to this video on expanding double brackets and expanding triple brackets. We'll start with a few examples. You can see on the screen I've got a question which involves double brackets. In algebra, when we have brackets, that is telling us that we need to multiply. So what we're actually being asked to do here is multiply all the terms in this bracket by all the terms in this bracket. You can see I've already added 4 arrows, 2 red and 2 blue. These 4 arrows show me the 4 multiplications I'm going to do to expand the brackets and end up with an expression. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the small red arrow. So I'm going to do y multiplied by y, which of course is y squared. Then I'm going to follow the large red arrow. Y multiplied by 6 is 6y. So up to now I've multiplied everything in the second bracket by the first term in the first bracket, the y. Now I'm going to do the same for the second term, the 3. 3 multiplied by y, following the small blue arrow, is 3y. And 3 multiplied by 6 would give me 18. So when I'm finished with my 4 multiplications, I end up with this expression. Y squared plus 6y plus 3y plus 18. They are the 4 answers to the 4 multiplications I just carried out. And notice that there's no brackets left in my expression. As soon as I've expanded those brackets, the brackets are removed from the algebra. I just need to take this a step further though, because we know in algebra we can always collect like terms. And if we look at the 2 middle terms here, we've got a 6y and a 3y. Because those terms are both y's, we can put them together. So 6y add 3y is going to give me 9y's. So I've tidied up by collecting the similar terms. Remember that a y squared is not a similar term to a y, so we treat those separately. So this would be my completed expansion. You can see with a double bracket, you end up with a quadratic equation. Quadratic because it has a squared term involved. I'll talk through one more example before I give you a few to have a go at. So again, I've got a set of double brackets, x plus 3 and x minus 6. And you can see I've added my 4 arrows to show you the 4 multiplications I'm going to go ahead and do. This time I'm going to show you the 4 expressions I end up with first. X times x, the small red arrow, gives me x squared. Large red arrow, x times 6 would give me 6x. However, remember we need to include this negative. So x times negative 6 gives me negative 6x. Small blue arrow, 3 times x is 3x. And then finally, 3 multiplied by negative 6 gives me negative 18. So again, at this stage, I can look to collect terms. I've got a negative 6x and a positive 3x. So if I started on negative 6 and added on 3, that would take me to negative 3x. So I can just simplify my expression to get my completed expansion. I've expanded and I've simplified the double brackets. Okay, so here's one for you to have a go at. If you just pause the video, expand this double bracket, and when you unpause the video, I'll show you my solution. You should be giving me sort of 2 lines of working out. Could you pause the video now, please? Okay, welcome back to the video. Your line of method should look like this. Those are the 4 answers to your 4 multiplications. Y times y is y squared. Y times 6 is 6y. 4 times y is 4y, and finally 4 times 6 is 24. Then we go ahead and collect the terms from the two middle terms. Plus 6y plus 4y gives me 10y's. So my completed expansion should look like that. As expected, there is a squared term, which is what we would want to see when we're expanding double brackets, and they have two similar letters involved. Another question for you to have a go at. So if you could pause the video at this point and expand the double brackets, showing me your full working out. Okay, welcome back to the video. Your answer should look something like this. Y times y gives me y squared. Y times 7 gives me 7y. Negative 2 times y gives me negative 2y. And negative 2 times 7 gives me negative 14. Put my similar terms together. 7y's take away 2y's gives me positive 5y's. That is the completed expansion for this double brackets. Again, could you pause the video, have a go at this question, and then unpause the video when you're ready to see my solution. Okay, welcome back. Here is my solution. So I've done my 4 multiplications. One thing to remember is when you're multiplying negative 3 by negative 4, that's going to give you positive 12. So just make sure you haven't made a little error here, which is quite a common mistake from some students. Then I'm going to collect my terms. Negative 4y, take away another 3, takes me to negative 7y. So just make sure you have your directed numbers and your understanding of negatives and where they land on the number line correct in this instance. This would be your completed expansion for this double brackets. Okay, so I've displayed on the screen 6 questions for you to have a go at. For each of the question, I'd like you to show me your full working out, and then I would like you to expand the brackets and then collect the terms to get your final answer. You can see that in the red section, I've just included positives. In the amber section, we have positives and negatives, and in the green section, 2 negatives in each of the brackets. Could you pause the video at this point and expand all 6 sets of double brackets? Okay, welcome back to the video. I'll just go ahead and show you my answers for these 6 expansions. Your answers should look something like this. So as expected, because we're dealing with double brackets, each answer should include a squared term. So if you can just spend a little bit of time marking up your 6 answers. Okay, so we are going to take the topic of expanding brackets one step further. We're going to use our knowledge of expanding double brackets in order to look at more complex expansions involving 3 brackets, triple brackets. If I start with the question, x plus 2 in brackets multiplied by x minus 3 in brackets multiplied by x plus 5 in brackets. I think the easiest way to approach a question like this is to first of all focus on the first 2 brackets. So I'm going to focus on x plus 2, x minus 3. It doesn't really matter which 2 brackets you focus on first, but just for consistency, I like to focus on the first 2. So to start with, I'm going to expand the double bracket x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 3. So for now, I'm going to ignore the x plus 5. That'll come back into the calculation in a little while. So I'm going to expand the double brackets. X multiplied by x, giving me x squared. X multiplied by minus 3, giving me negative 3x. 2 times x, giving me 2x. and 2 times negative 3, giving me negative 6. So just like the method we've looked at in the first section of the video, we do 4 multiplications and we end up with 4 terms. Our 2 center terms, our x terms, can be collected together because they are like terms. So minus 3x plus 2x is going to give me negative x. So this is the result of expanding this double bracket. So now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to bring the x plus 5 back into the calculation. And I'm going to multiply this quadratic by this bracket x plus 5. So this time I'm going to do 6 separate multiplications, which is going to give me 6 terms to work with and simplify. So you can see I've added arrows to the expansion. X squared times x will give me an x cubed. X squared times 5 will give me 5x squared. You can see there's my first 2 expansions. Then I'm going to continue on. Minus x multiplied by x is negative x squared. Minus x multiplied by 5 gives me negative 5x. And my last 2 multiplications, minus 6 times x is negative 6x, and minus 6 times 5 is negative 30. So because I'm multiplying a quadratic with 3 terms by a bracket with 2 terms, I'm doing 6 multiplications, so I'm ending up with 6 terms. But we can of course take this one step further and simplify. I can put my 5x squareds and I can take away an x squared, which is going to leave me with 4x squareds. And I can also collect the terms of x. Minus 5x, subtract another 6x's is going to leave me on negative 11x. So this is my full expansion of the triple brackets. As expected, I'm including an x cubed term, and that's what I would expect to find because there was 3 x's in my original question. So when I expand triple brackets, I would expect to see an x cubed in my answer. So whatever letter is contained in the brackets, you would expect to see it cubed in your final solution. Let's have a look through one more question, a little bit more complicated again, before I give you some triple brackets to expand. So this time I've got 2y plus 3, so I've actually got a coefficient of the y in this first bracket, so that's going to increase the complexity. And I've got y minus 2 squared. So the first thing to know is when we've got a bracket that is squared, it just means we're going to write out the bracket twice. It does not mean square the y and square the 2. It means we write out the full bracket twice, which is exactly what I've done here. So all I've done is I've rewrote the question. And then just like in my previous example, I'm going to focus on the first 2 brackets and expand the double brackets. There's my 4 terms after I've done my 4 multiplications. I'm just going to collect the 2 middle terms. So there's the answer to the expansion of the first 2 brackets. 2y squared plus y minus 6. I'm then going to bring the second y minus 2 into the calculation. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my 6 multiplications. This is what I'm aiming for. 2y squared multiplied by y is 2y cubed. 2y squared multiplied by negative 2 is negative 4y squared. Then we move on and deal with the y. Y multiplied by y is y squared. Y multiplied by negative 2 is negative 2y. And then finally we deal with the minus 6. Minus 6 multiplied by y is negative 6y. Negative 6 multiplied by negative 2 is positive 12. Once we get to that stage, you can see I've highlighted the terms I'm able to collect. So I'm just going to collect them to give my final answer. So 2y cubed minus 3y squared minus 8y plus 12 is the answer to the expansion of these triple brackets. And what the examiner would be testing in a question like this is your use of algebra and how you're able to manipulate the algebra correctly to change one form of algebra which included brackets into another form of algebra which does not include brackets. Okay, so I've placed on the screen 6 challenging expanding brackets questions. All of these questions have appeared in previous IGCSE exams. For each of the questions, I'd like you to use the method that I've just explained in the previous examples to work through the full expansion of the 3 brackets. For each question, you'll need to show me a lot of working out, a lot of algebraic notation in order to get your final answer, your final expression. Okay, could you pause the video at this point and could you have a go at all 6 expansions? Welcome back to the video. I'll just go ahead and show you the solutions to these 6 triple bracket questions. And my answers for all 6 questions look like this. So you can see, as expected, in each expression we have a cubed term. So we're dealing with a cubic expression. Because we're dealing with triple brackets that included 3 x's, that is what we would expect. So you can see the answers to all 6 expansions. If you could just take a little bit of time to mark up your work. Okay, one more task for you to have a go at. So I've just displayed on the board some varying degree of complexity in terms of expanding brackets questions. Some questions involving just a single bracket, some a double bracket, and then there is a question expanding a triple bracket as well. So for each of the questions, could you show me your full working out and present your algebraic notation in the correct way? Could you pause the video now and have a go at all 8 questions? Okay, welcome back. I'll just go ahead and show you my full written solutions. And they look something like that. So you can see that I've shown my working out whether it's a single, a double, or triple bracket. I've shown the algebra I've manipulated. I've shown each step in the working out that I've used in order to get my final expression. If you were able to get all 8 answers correct on this task, then that is brilliant. You've shown a very good understanding of how to expand brackets.